Hi, my name is Rochelle Doriso. I'm going to talk to you today about professional dispositions of learners and educators. I am married. I have 2 children of my own. They are school-aged. I hold a standards teaching certificate in the state of Arizona with a mathematics endorsement. I teach full-time in a Title I middle school in Mesa, Arizona. I teach 2 classes. One is AVID, which is a college readiness class, and the other is an honors 7th grade math class. In this assignment, we were to read an article on professional dispositions, identify personal strengths and weaknesses, and describe what those dispositions look like. We also were to describe the motivations behind them. In order to do this effectively, I quantified the behavior indicators to identify overall which dispositions were strengths and which were weaknesses. The results were surprising. Things I thought were strengths were actually weaknesses, and some of my weaknesses were actually strengths. I'm going to use these weaknesses to develop SMART goals for personal growth, so this activity was very beneficial. My 2 strongest dispositions were honesty and dedication. Honesty is about having integrity. It's about doing what you say. Some of the words used in the behavior indicators were speaking truthfully and having transparency. It also means keeping students and stakeholders in mind in decision-making processes. Dedication is about being committed to your profession. Educators who are dedicated show up every day on time and they are prepared, which means they've done a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that they're prepared. They do this because they believe teaching is a calling and that they are making a difference. Educators who show dedication are also committed to personal growth through professional development. My next 2 strongest indicators were professional conduct and reflection. Professional conduct is about respecting yourself and others at all times. It means following the rules, being appropriate, and showing sound judgment in all situations. Educators who are professional keep in mind at all times that they are a role model not only in the classroom but in the community as well. Reflection is about regularly evaluating yourself and being ready to make changes. It means being flexible. Educators who are reflective seek out and use feedback. They need to be flexible with their lesson plans. They need to analyze data and modify as they observe areas where they need to make changes. What I realized is, though this is a strength for me, I need to set the time daily to be reflective. It is something I often push to the side. My next 2 dispositions were actually neutral. Neutral meaning the behavior indicators showed that I was equally strong and weak in these 2 areas. They were high expectations and curiosity. I was surprised by high expectations because I actually thought this was one of my strengths. I am good at setting and communicating goals and expectations to my students. I'm also good at holding them accountable, but I realize that I'm missing a piece of it. And this was a common theme. I realize I need to build relationships with my students better. This theme shows up in other places. Curiosity is about using inquiry, collaboration, and exploration to critically think about and draw meaning from concepts that are studied. I have the structure in place to do this well, as I use John Strebe collaboration strategies in my classroom, but I realize I'm missing a large piece of it. Perhaps it's because I try to fit too much into my class time, but I need to create purposeful opportunities for curiosity to happen. My next 2 dispositions I classified as weaknesses because the indicators that I was weak in outweighed the ones that I was strong in. They were fairness and advocacy. Fairness was a surprise. I thought I was fair. I do treat students fairly and I assess them fairly, but I'm missing a piece of it that is a common theme. I need to take the time to get to know my students better. Advocacy means promoting positive and beneficial change for students and community. I don't spend much time outside of class getting to know my students, and what I realize is I'm missing opportunities to build relationships with them. I need to care, I need to empathize, and I need to invest in them. This leads me to my lowest disposition. It was compassion. This was a huge surprise because I did think that I cared, but I realize now that I don't care enough. I need to empathize. I need to spend time with students. I need to talk to them about their interests outside the classroom. And as I get to know them better, they move me to care more about them. Though I am ashamed to admit this, I don't care enough. But admitting is the first step to change, so I have a direction for personal growth. While I have some strengths, I choose to focus on my weaknesses, and I will be setting some SMART goals to build more relationships with my students. After all, students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and apparently I have a lot of caring to do. So this was a great activity for me to realize areas that I need to grow in. Thank you for watching.